Mr. Henry Gardner, so that he may present to us item 3, which actually I will allow Director Roseman to formally read it in, but wanted to make sure Mr. Gardner knows he's about to be up and has access to sound on the Zoom.
For item 3, new business, resolution authorizing the executive director of the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum Authority and AEG Management Oakland LLC, a Delaware limited liability company, a division of ASM Global, to negotiate and execute an event license agreement between the authority and Oakland Pro Soccer LLC for the Oakland Roots and Soul Sports Clubs to play their 2025-2026 soccer season home matches in the stadium at the Coliseum complex.
Thank you so much, and I want to really thank and appreciate the incredible hard work of the dedicated staff and team that has gone into not only this item, but all the incredible work that has been going on in recent months to increase bookings and events here that, of course, create jobs and revenue in our community. And this item that is before us today is another amazing example of the growth and excitement and interest in our region, in our city, and in this facility. Mr. Gardner, you are welcome to present the item.
Good morning, and thank you. I trust that I can be heard clearly.
Yes.
Good. First, I want to apologize for not being with you in person. I will remind you that this date was scheduled well in advance, but then we canceled. I then changed my plans to join my family for an event here in Florida, and then we changed it back. So I changed my reservations again. And the airlines finally got tired of us. So I am in Florida. Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to brief you on what this item is and where we have been. First, the resolution authorizes the executive director and AEG to negotiate a special event agreement as defined in the amended and restated management agreement with Roots and Soul. It authorizes the executive director and AEG to execute, consistent with JPA management agreement, subject to review and approval as to form by the joint council. For well over a year, Roots approached us about the potential use of the Coliseum complex in some form. You will recall that we first looked at parking lot C. That did not work. And then we looked at, can this event take place in the stadium, consistent with our operational needs? And pursuant to that, we have had numerous meetings with Roots. We have gone through exhaustively the operational aspects of this, how it would work, to structure it in such a way that it does not impair our ability to carry out other activities at the site. And we've done all of this with utmost concern about the financial terms to make sure that they're consistent with no free. All expenses have to be covered, and we hope that we can make some money. There are no guarantees in this life, well, except there are two, but neither is applicable in this case. Except for those, we have done our best and will continue to do our best to make sure that this is a successful event, both in terms of its operations and in terms of the finances. We approached this pursuant to the Joint Powers Agreement, Management Agreement. And we have had to stay within what I call the four corners of that agreement. And they are these. In order to be consistent and to conform with that provision, an event may not exceed 1 year. That's one corner. It may not be more than 60 days. It's another. And it may not be more than 15 consecutive events. So with that, I will ask Ms. Jefferson, if you would show the PowerPoint that I plan to speak from.
I need to be enabled to share screen.
I believe only the host has screen share capabilities.
Okay.
Okay, you should now be able to share screen. Thank you, team.
Thank you, Mrs. Jefferson. As I've stated, these matches, should they happen, will take place in the stadium. Consistent with those four corners that I described, the events will occur between March 1st, 2025 and February 27, 2026, not exceeding 1 year. One of the four corners. It will not have more than 34 events. 60 are allowed. Another corner. It may not be more than 15 consecutive days. There will only be 6 consecutive days. What we have been negotiating with groups, and we have been doing it pursuant to those provisions that I just laid out. We are negotiating a flat fee for event expenses, which will be paid every game by Roots and Soul. So we know as we're going along how we're doing. We and Roots have no control over the facility fee. Well, actually we do, which is 10%, and that will be applied to all tickets sold. That's not negotiable. That's what it is. Of course, the business license tax is applied to all tickets, and that's not a negotiable item. The parking tax will be applied to all parking passes that are sold. We have been, because of the fact that we have not had in the past events, soccer events particularly, so we have no past experience. We have then been negotiating how we come up with terms that work both for us and for Roots in terms of any profit sharing. They're bringing activities to the site on their own that they're promoting, they're advertising, and they're looking for some ways to get some revenues from this, but we said, oh, but only if we meet certain thresholds. Right now, that is between about $1.5 million to $2 million. That's not settled yet. We won't know that, actually, until we've gone game by game. Halfway through, you'll probably have a better read of that. One big item, the biggest of all of them, actually. We do not have a soccer field. And so who is going to pay for this soccer field, and who's going to install it? We have said, no, we're not paying for it, and we're not installing it. You have to pay for it, and you have to install it. And one of the issues around installation, which gave me pause, is there are very specific criteria that must be met under the soccer standards. And I have pushed that back on Roots. You install it. If it meets the standards, we're all clear. If it doesn't meet the standards, you have to make it meet the standards. That is not on us. And you pay for it. And then the final part is we are still working the language. And there are edits still to be done. But for the core items, we're there. Some issues were raised early on about whether or not this really fits the four corners. I've just told you what the four corners are. But as those were raised, we have addressed those, we have either modified them or we've taken them out completely. And my opinion, as forthrightly as I can tell you, what we have negotiated to this date is consistent with those four corners. I will respond to any questions or comments that you might have.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Mr. Gardner, and for your work and dedication, and to everyone in the team here who has been a part of making this happen and bringing events and activity here. I do want to make sure that we respect everyone's time and get us to conclusion before some of the board members have to leave. And of course, as pursuant to the Brown Act and our practice, we do have to take public speakers as well. And so members of the public who are on Zoom would click the raise hand feature in order to speak. I also want to make sure that we have clearly on the record that there have been a great many emails sent to the JPA via the staff in support of having Roots and Soul here. And I believe there are also such comments being placed through the Q&A function on the Zoom as well. So let us find out how many hands raised there are for this item. Do you want to send back, and we will also take questions.
Rebecca,
Commissioner Dean.
yes, is there a way that we can get a printed copy of this PowerPoint, or that what Henry just discussed, so I could look at it while we were talking?
Yes, and also Ms. Jefferson, I think, can keep the screen up, but we can do that, yes.
Thank you. Does the staff here have the copy of the PowerPoint? Can we bring that?
If not, we can do those.
Yes, thank you. The staff is bringing it, and also we can have it be on the screen, please. Thank you. How many speakers do we have?
There are 10 speakers in the queue with their hands raised.
Excellent. Thank you. In order to ensure we don't lose quorum, we're doing 1 minute per speaker on the clock. Thank you so much. And we'll have yes, there we go. It's on the screen, and the staff will bring paper copy as well. All right, we may proceed with the speakers. Thank you.